Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing good tonight. We have quite a couple of topics to get through. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't very positive. I do want to just say that. Unfortunately, a lot of the topics tonight just aren't very positive, which is unfortunate, but we have a couple of things that I am excited to talk about, that I've wanted to talk about, and that I haven't gotten a chance to discuss in videos yet. Hopefully the volume's better now. I accidentally had it too loud. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight we are going to be talking about Starfield. Apparently there have been some leaked images of Starfield put online. Now, of course, who really knows? I always take new images with a grain of salt because we never truly know if it's actually, if they're actually real or not, especially coming from the sources. But I also kind of just wanted to talk about the general details of what we know about Starfield right now, because unfortunately we don't really know a lot about it. It is still a very long ways away. We are not getting it anytime soon, but it is a game that I've been keeping my eye on. We have a little bit of information on it. I thought that we could quickly scroll through the very few images that were put online. We are going to be talking about 13 Sentinels and a localization disaster, apparently, because 13 Sentinels localization allegedly changes character dialogue to make character non-binary. Now, this, of course, is an Atlas game. And Atlas has gone through some heat over the past, 3 years. It's been pretty bad. They've been making really bad moves that a lot of people dislike. And this is one that has gotten people pretty upset for some obvious reasons. When it comes to localization in games, sometimes localization can go really well, sometimes it can go smooth, and then you also have people who are localizing games that literally have said in the past, I'm just doing whatever I want. I'm going to change things that I find are offensive, and basically, if you hire me, that's what I'm going to do. I actually talked about that, 6 months ago, maybe even 8 months ago now that situation happened. It's definitely a situation, though, that's for sure. Unfortunately, localization can just go terribly. The next topic that I have on the list is something I'm not happy to talk about. So when it comes to current world issues, I always hate when shows have to throw in real world issues into entertainment. Entertainment is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to watch entertainment all the time and go, oh hey, that's a reference to Trump. Oh hey, that's a reference to the current state of the world. But apparently, James Gunn and John Cena have announced a new Suicide Squad spin-off series that about Peacemaker, that will delve into current world issues. This already is going to spell for disaster. Don't get me wrong, John Cena isn't the worst actor. I hope that he does a good job in the Suicide Squad movie. If you don't know, James Gunn is doing the Suicide Squad movie. It is different from the Suicide Squad movie that came out a couple of years ago. Harley Quinn is still the same. A couple of the actors are still the same. But John Cena isn't the best actor. And of course, he has, on social media, always been pretty vocal about things that he agrees with and disagrees with, politics and whatnot. So, am I really that surprised to hear this? No. Am I disappointed to hear about this? Yes. And we are also going to talk about Hololive. There's been quite a situation surrounding Hololive because they have issued a 3-week suspension to multiple VTubers for viewing a list that recognized Taiwan's independence. I've talked a lot here on the channel about China, the Chinese government, CCP. I talked about Mulan recently, and I've talked about just in the gaming industry how, unfortunately, this isn't very surprising, to be honest. We saw how Activision Blizzard acted with Blitzchung. He said, "Free Hong Kong, revolution of our times." Companies want to appease their Chinese investors, and it sounds like Hololive also wanted to do the same because they've taken a couple of steps back. They tried to defend themselves by saying, we are suspending these VTubers because they possibly offended people, and going through their terms of service lists, or their apparent terms of service lists, they didn't break any rules, and now we're we're hearing that they're changing their story again by saying, oh no, we didn't mean it like that. Basically, they just didn't follow their contracts, and they showed numbers that they weren't supposed to be showing. It's just, of course, more bullshit. I just had to take a minute there to really look at you guys, so you can understand where I'm coming from. Oh, what the fuck? So those are the topics that are on the list tonight, but before we get into them, welcome everyone to the stream. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that your night is going well. If it's the day for you, I hope that your day is going well. Someone asked, is the Xbox Series S or X worth the money when it's released if I have a gaming PC? I did see Devin in chat answer his opinion. If you have a good gaming PC, the thing that would matter if you wanted a new generation console is exclusives. If you have a PC and you want to go for Xbox titles, like Microsoft titles, I should say, a lot of them, it sounds like, are going to be accessible on PC. So I would probably say no, but if you care about the exclusives and you want multiple ways to play those exclusives, whether they are on PC when they eventually go to PC, or if they are on the console, I mean, yeah, when it comes to new consoles, the only thing that I can really say is it depends on if you care about the exclusives. Like, for me, I care a lot about a lot of the PlayStation exclusives this generation. From what we've seen, they've got a couple of interesting ones, obviously. Spider-Man is a huge one. Demon's Souls is another huge one. They're both launch titles, but I care a lot about the PlayStation exclusives, which is why someone like me would probably care about getting these consoles, even if you have a gaming PC. So all I can say is it really depends on what games you want to play on it, and if you can access them on other consoles. I mean, other platforms. Whether it maybe is another console or even the gaming PC. Game Pass is better on the Xbox than it is on the PC, a lot more games. That is very true as well. Game Pass, while yes, there are a lot of games that are on the PC version of Xbox Game Pass, obviously the way that they want you to play Game Pass is through an Xbox rather than a PC. So while they do push the PC side of it, the Xbox version of it does have a lot more games. It has a lot more reasons, I feel like, to buy a console. And if you only have a couple of games that you really want to purchase on next generation consoles, I definitely think that for the price of the Series S, it's definitely something, I mean, maybe that you should look into if you're debating. This generation, you definitely don't have to go for a $500 console because there are the cheaper alternatives that are also very good. Obviously, the X and S have big differences, but it depends on what type of gaming you want to do and what type of games you want to play. That was a very long answer for that, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm always happy to talk about games. Did you hear that so I did hear about Tinkerbell and how they are having a black actress play Tinkerbell. So unfortunately, the Disney live actions have been absolute trash. And this may sound pretty depressing, but if you still care about the Disney live actions, it's time to find a better hobby. Now, maybe I'm not that phased because I was never a big, I mean, I like Peter Pan, but I was never someone that really loved the universe that it was set in and whatnot. It's hard because I think that if she was a good actress, it might be different. I would be like, of course, yeah, I personally don't mind if the actress is good enough, especially for such a side character. Tinkerbell, while she might be iconic, she is just kind of like a side character. You really only see her in like 3 tiny clips in Peter Pan. But the thing is that she's not a very well-known actress. She hasn't done much. She is not a big actress by any means. So I'm not sure how she's going to do. I mean, if she does good as Tinkerbell, good. They've made their choice. So this is the thing, is that no matter how much we complain, it's the actress that is chosen. And I think it's fine to voice your distaste if you don't like the actress choice. But I also want to kind of give her a little bit of a chance, because they've already picked her. I don't care about the Disney live actions anymore. I mean, after Mulan, who even cares about the Disney live actions anymore? Let's be honest. They've butchered all of the Disney live actions. So I guess The Lion King was okay. Like, The Lion King definitely wasn't what it could be, but I think that they made decent choices for the live action Lion King, but who cares about Disney live actions anymore, am I right? Disney just putting another foot in the grave? I mean, they wanted this choice. Maybe she is an amazing actress, and maybe she has done amazing things in the past, or maybe she, because she hasn't done too much in the past, but maybe she gave an amazing audition, and she did really good, and they really thought that they could make her work. I mean, if you look at the choice for Captain Hook, Jude Law, why? That's even a terrible casting. I mean, Jude Law is a great actor, but him as Captain Hook? No, it's going to be bad. It all around is just going to be terrible. No thanks. Lion King was shit. I actually kind of disagree. I thought that The Lion King was okay. I thought that most of the music was really well done. I liked a lot of the voice actors that they chose. I mean, I thought that it was great that they brought back some of the old voice actors, like Mufasa's voice actor. I think that it was an okay movie. I think, yeah, they definitely should have done something different with the CGI. I definitely think that they could have made them look more cartoon-like. That obviously wasn't what they were going for, and I kind of understand where they wanted to take the movie, and I thought the movie was okay. It just wasn't amazing. Jude Law was good 20 years ago. He's been in some good stuff. I mean, he's been in, so let me put it this way. Jude Law has been in a lot of stuff. Obviously, his shining moment wasn't in Captain Marvel. He was, I mean, he did an okay job, I guess, in Captain Marvel, even though it was a terrible movie. But he's been in just so many different things, and I think that he's done good in them. I just don't think that he's a Captain Hook. I did not like the new Lion King, ruin the original for me. Hey, fair enough. Everyone has their opinions. I was just giving you mine. Yeah, Ao was good. He was really good in that movie, though. Lion King was a copy and paste. Do you mean from the original? I don't think that it was bad. Anyway, let's get into the first topic of the night. This topic is going to be kind of short, just because we don't have a lot of information on it. So, Starfield. I have been keeping my eye on Starfield for quite a while now. It is a game that I want to hear a lot more about. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to experience it. I just can't wait to see where Bethesda is going to bring this game. And we don't know a lot about Starfield, so I did want to go through the couple of small details that we know about it, but apparently it looks like there was possibly leaked images put online regarding Starfield. Now, there is only 2 images, but I do want to say, take it with a grain of salt, obviously. They were posted to 4chan. We know how many lies, non-true rumors, let's say, go on to 4chan, but, you know, I do also want to give 4chan a little bit of credit, because there was someone that put the whole entire The Last of Us 2 plot onto 4chan. Everyone thought it was a lie, and then 3 months later we found out that it was true. So I feel like lately there's been a lot of actual truth coming out of 4chan. But let me show you all the images first, and then we'll kind of go through the small details that we do know about Starfield. So, this is an MP First article. Report: Starfield's first look surfaces via leaked images. There's only 2. I still wanted to look at them though. While the big Bethesda news this past week is Microsoft's acquisition of the entire company and its IPs, new Bethesda news has surfaced that's not only connected to that, but it's also our first look, supposedly, at Starfield. For those not familiar with the brand, Starfield is the first new Bethesda IP in 25 years, setting itself to be a massive RPG set in space. There has been no confirmation whether the game will feature multiplayer elements just yet, but that hasn't stopped us from reporting on it. Now, on 4chan, an anonymous member posted what they claim to be as our first look at Starfield via images. If I bring this up, okay, I can bring this up a little bit more. So, they're not much to look at, let's be honest. So the first one is an image showing a character out in space. We can see the UI, which features a health and stamina bar along with an oxygen meter, and then there's a second one. Now, my problem with seeing screenshots, leaked screenshots apparently of games, is, number one, we don't even know if they're true or not. We don't even know. But number two is that we don't know what stage the game is actually in. This doesn't look like a done game. If I looked at this game, I'd be like, what PlayStation 4 game is this? Because it looks like a PlayStation 4 game. I mean, nothing looks amazing here. But we don't know what stage the game is in yet and what stage these screenshots were taken. Now, as we will read in a minute, Starfield has been in development for a couple of years at this point. They announced it in 2018. In 2018, they had already said it was in the works for a while. So I'm assuming that Starfield is pretty deep into the project at this point, that they maybe have 2 more years to go, but it's finally getting some meat on its bones. And I would assume that they might be in a pre-alpha phase for the game. Now, we don't know. This is just my assumption, looking at game timelines. I mean, they've already been working on this game for like 4 years now. Maybe in 2 more we might actually see the title. But looking at it, if this is true, the HUD looks really minimalistic, which I don't mind. I'm someone who prefers games to have like minimalistic HUDs. I think that it looks just pretty basic at the bottom right. Of course, you have the health bar, the stamina bar, you have the weapon, you have the ammunition, and then on the left side, does the article guess what it is? There's an oxygen meter. Like I said, the UI looks pretty basic, which this might not even be the full UI. It could just be like they're testing dumbed down version, but I feel like a lot of games now do go for more minimalistic UIs, so this could very well be the full UI for the game. It looks okay, the UI, I mean, simple, not a lot to look at, but graphically the game does look like a PlayStation 4 game, which I feel like is going to be something that I'm going to say a lot this generation, at least at the beginning. I mean, we see events like the PlayStation 5 Showcase event, and I'm looking at a lot of games, and I'm going, wow, that looks great for a PlayStation 4 game. It's just, I feel like so many games look like they're last generation games. I can't even believe that we're going into a new generation already. But everyone in chat is saying, Skyrim in space. Wow. Fallout 5. The Starfield. I mean, possibly. I look at this screenshot and I think to myself, oh, I can't wait to play this game. I can't wait to experience Starfield. Oh, the bugs are just going to be so good. I can't wait for this game to come out and have modders mod it for me. That is so depressing to have to say. Is knowing a game might come out, because it's Bethesda, and saying, wow, I really hope those modders work fast. I mean, you can play Skyrim without mods, but who does that these days? And then the second image apparently shows a model of a spaceship. It does say it's hard to judge whether these are real or not, though given this is 4chan and we all suggest you take this leak with a grain of salt. We've reached out to Bethesda about the image's legitimacy and we'll update the post if we hear anything back. And of course, they haven't heard anything back. This is apparently an image of I just accidentally hit my desk, of one of the Starship models. My problem with seeing Starship models like this is that while it looks really great here as like an image that obviously kind of looks like it's more of a showcase image, it's obviously, it's probably in game, but obviously in game you're not going to see it that massive most likely. It looks okay. It looks pretty decent. It is like a showcase image, of course. Why didn't they actually maybe leak us a footage with substance? Like maybe, I don't know, showing a minute of combat. Does this game have combat? Maybe they could have showed us like a little bit of the inside. They're just two very bizarre images to leak, but obviously they're not supposed to be leaking the images, so I'm not complaining. I think that it looks interesting though. I can't wait to play Fallout 5 in space. It's gonna be great. They're gonna have to slap a Windows sign on that ship now. I mean, that's free marketing. But I also wanted to quickly go through a PC Gamer article just to tell you all the details that we know about Starfield, because we don't know a lot, so I thought that we could read through it quickly. Starfield is Bethesda's first original RPG in 25 years. Bethesda, come on now. And it's set in space. Everyone wants to make a game in space. Space is free real estate, baby. That is almost everything we know about this mysterious project, which the studio has been talking about internally for a decade. I'm actually someone who's really surprised that we haven't heard more about this game and there hasn't been any more leaked. I mean, with how long this project's been going on, you would think that we would have heard a lot more about it, but we haven't. Obviously, we do not know a release date. It says, is there an official Starfield trailer? Bethesda's E3 2018 teaser trailer is all we have seen of the game so far, and now the supposedly leaked images. It shows the sun cresting the atmosphere of a desert planet, and it shows a space station. We are actually a camera floating in space in this clip. You can see flecks of the ice on the lens. As the sun catches the camera, we see a word written on our own devices, and of course, we don't know exactly what it says, but it says it shows a logo and a partial word constellation. This article was updated and mentions, will Microsoft buying Bethesda change Starfield? As we know, Microsoft plans to leave ZeniMax alone, which would include Bethesda. The buyout likely wouldn't bring Starfield any sooner, but hopefully a bit of extra money and support from Microsoft won't hurt. Until we hear otherwise, we can still assume that Starfield is the next RPG being developed by Bethesda, followed later by The Elder Scrolls 6. I do think that this is very true. I think that this will give them the opportunity to sink a shit ton of more money into it. I just really hope that when this game finally launches, it's good, because it's been rumored for a long time that Starfield's gonna have these great amazing things, but we still know basically nothing about it. And then the last thing that I wanted to read is Todd Howard says Starfield is getting really good hype for how early it is. Talking to Larry Major Nelson on his official Xbox Live podcast about Bethesda's acquisition by Microsoft, Todd Howard gave a brief update on Starfield and the hype building around it. I think that it's getting really good hype for a game no one has seen, he said. It is a surprisingly candid comment that speaks to the high hopes and expectations fans are placing on a game that we know very little about. I think it's just because so many people want new, good, interesting, enticing, unique games, and I'm definitely someone who does. That's personally why I've been pretty excited to see more about Starfield. It's why I've been kind of sitting on the edge of my seat, so to speak, when it comes to Starfield, but that's all that we know. We know nothing about this game, but I did want to just show you all these images in case they are eventually confirmed, or even if Bethesda says they're not real. Whoever apparently leaked these needs to get a life. So, that's all that I had to discuss with Starfield. And next we are going to move into 13 Sentinels localization situation. Bethesda never talks about anything until a few months before the release. I feel like they may change a little bit now. I hope that the acquisition by Microsoft will give them more money to put into projects, which I think was a huge draw, because I am going to say I think that Starfield is really, really, really expensive. We have no numbers for it so far, but with how long they've been working on it, I think that Starfield is going to be a huge game for players, but massively expensive. I just have that gut feeling. I mean, we've heard about it for at least 4 years now. Well, I think that we got a little teaser a while ago, but in 2018 was the first short, like, 10-second trailer we saw like the cinematic, like the Elder Scrolls 6, The Mountain, the famous The Mountain. They did the same thing with Starfield. I just think that the game is going to be super expensive to make, and I think that this will give them even more money to put into the game. I just want the game to be good, though. Bill Gates will tell them to put Elon Musk's space Tesla in it so you can blow it up. That will be the first mission. Hey, maybe. I mean, Todd Howard said, like, half a year ago that he had went to SpaceX headquarters and, like, talked to Elon Musk about... He said he talked to Elon Musk about space things. I don't know what Todd the God Howard plans with space things, but at least he's getting, I don't know, information from someone. Anyway, I guess we'll see in time what space things are. Starfield will cost 100,000 Teslas. Well, which model of Tesla? That is the question. But alright, you guys, we are going to move into the next topic for the night. Give me 1 second. I want to fix... There we go, that's better. For some reason, the ratio was a little bit off. Alright, we are going to move into the next topic of the night, which is 13 Sentinels. So 13 Sentinels localization allegedly changes character dialogue to make a character non-binary. This is a Bounding Into Comics article that I'm going to be referencing. Atlas recently released Western localization of 13 Sentinels. Aegis Rim has changed a character from a cross-dresser into a person with a non-binary identity. Now, Atlas has been a company that over the past two, maybe 3 years, hasn't really done what fans want. Atlas has made a lot of questionable decisions. I've talked about Atlas numerous times here on the channel, and this seems to be another questionable change, of course, going through localization, that a lot of fans of Atlas are very, very, very mad about. So 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, follows 13 high school-aged protagonists as they travel through time and use their Sentinel mecha suits to repel an invasion of kaiju-like aliens. Let's just say high school-aged protagonists, it's 2020. Can't do that anymore. Censored. I mean, I'm partially joking because hopefully nothing gets censored, but we know how iffy companies are when it comes to high school-aged protagonists, okay? God forbid we have a show or a movie or a game with high school-aged characters. I mean, that's right there is a breeding ground for censorship. During the events of the game, I'm going to butcher a lot of names here, Tsusaka Okino, the creator of the Sentinel technology, goes into hiding and flees to the year 1944. While in 44, Okino dresses as a woman and gives himself a different name in order to acclimate to the world around him and hiding his identity. I haven't seen a lot of people who were very mad about the premise. I haven't seen a lot of people who were, like, upset about the character being... changing, dressing as a woman. I haven't seen a lot of people be mad at that. I want to specify that because on social media like Twitter, a lot of people were like, it's just people being, you know, shitty people and being mad about this character dressing as a different gender and giving himself a different name, trying to, like, hide and fit in. No. I want to make that very clear. There are not people who are upset about this. There are people who are upset about them changing the character and who the character is. At one point during the game, Okino is questioned about why he cross-dresses by one of the 13 protagonists. In an official screenshot from the English release of the game, Okino states that he cross-dresses because some binaries work for me and others don't. Okay. However, according to a screenshot shared in the subreddit Kotaku in Action, the original Japanese release sees Okino explaining that cross-dressing is more convenient for me. So there are two very, very different types of situations going on here. from the English to Japanese. Obviously, English says, let's say some binaries work for me and others don't. This lets me hide the fact that I'm even alive. In Japanese, it says, this is more convenient for me. It helps me keep it a secret that I'm alive. So there's definitely different meanings behind that. Unfortunately, we've heard about a lot of localization nightmares. A lot of localization teams will kind of just change lines that they want, that they feel makes a situation more appropriate. We have heard in the past localization teams saying, well, we decided to change certain dialogue so that it would be more respectable to Western audiences, so that it wouldn't offend people so much. But we know the types of people that they're talking about. They're talking about not offending, you know, sensitive little Sallys. This new non-binary identity not only erases Okino's original male gender, but it also adds a new layer of complicated social politics to his personal journey to come to terms with his feelings for a member of the same sex. This is not the first time that Atlus has changed a gay male character to conform to Western pressures. After some players complained that a scene featuring two men hitting on Ryuji in the original release of Persona 5 was homophobic, the scene was changed in Persona 5 Royal to see two men instead attempt to force the blonde-haired Persona user into the drag scene. Like I said at the beginning, Atlus has made some pretty questionable choices that they think is helpful and appeasing to specific groups of people, but the problem is that the people that are angry and saying, change this, it's so offensive, don't actually buy their games. They don't actually buy their products. And then the article finishes off with, do you agree with this localization change? Do you think it makes more or less sense the original? Let us know your thoughts. I think that this localization change is, again, like a situation like Persona 5 Royal. There was outrage on social media. People were saying, you should change these things. People that don't even buy their products, and now they've changed the product. And unfortunately, they have another group of people that are upset with them because they made changes, because they altered the dialogue. I want to see how the game actually plays out, because I don't know how much they actually changed the character's personality, because listening to this, seeing the differences between Japanese and English, it sounds like this does change the character quite a bit. It changes the character's outlook on a lot of situations quite a bit. So I want to see if this is the only instance of the change, or if they've even completely overhauled the character. But we don't know right now. But why? That's all I have to ask. Atlus, why do you have to make needless changes that can potentially ruin characters and ruin stories? Because as this article points out, it can change the way that the character acts, because the character goes through a personal journey to come to terms with his feelings for a member of the same sex. Ultimately, we don't know how much else is going to be changed in the game, but when we know, I most certainly will be talking about it. I hope that they haven't changed much, maybe even that they go back on this change, but I don't think that they are. Atlus usually just does what they want. They unfortunately are a company that does listen to a lot of social media pressure. They will change a lot of things, even if there's only one person complaining on social media about it, and that's just, you know, unfortunately what some companies do and how some companies act. But let me know your thoughts in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching this back. How do you feel about this localization change? I do need to start looking more into localization, because for a while there were a lot of localization situations happening. Groups of people literally saying, we're on the localization team and we just basically change what we want that we think would be offensive to audiences, so we change it. And then it kind of went silent. I feel like we haven't heard a lot about localization changes and censorship when it comes to character dialogue, but I need to start looking into that more. If you guys have any other examples of this happening recently, please let me know. I'd be curious to know. Unfortunately, Atlus, yes, is a company that has gone downhill. Atlus used to be... hold on a second. What was I saying? Sorry, I had to read something. My apologies. Anyway, I'm curious to know everyone's thoughts about this. Atlas, unfortunately, is a company that has gone downhill. They used to be a great company, and I'm not saying they're still not a good company, because they do things that fans want sometimes, but unfortunately they can't tell the difference between fans and angry outrage mobs that don't even buy their products, and that is something that happens with a lot of companies now. But Atlas definitely is a company that gives into outrage a lot. Cross-dressing is also called being a transvestite, not transgender. Yeah, I didn't say that, but yes. That's like the J.K. Rowling situation. There was a situation, I talked about it not very long ago, maybe a week ago or so. Go feel free to look up that video on my channel, but J.K. Rowling has a new book out that has a main character who is a, who cross-dresses, basically to murder people. They're a cross-dresser, a transvestite who murders people. And there were people on social media saying, this isn't trans-friendly, you're painting transgender in a negative light, blah, 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 basically trying to get J.K. Rowling's book canceled and trying to get J.K. Rowling canceled. But I don't know what they don't understand, but there is a difference between being a transvestite and a transgender person. I've seen plenty of people, especially on that video, comment, why are people complaining about this? Why? There's no correlation. I mean, there's a very big difference between being a transvestite and a transgender person. Atlas used to be their localization group must consist of SJWs. Unfortunately, their localization team hasn't been good recently. Maybe it's time to get a new one, Atlas. Atlas, maybe it's time to just stand your ground, create the content you want, and stop caring about what people want that aren't your fans. Stop listening to outrage mobs because you think it's going to make you more money when those people aren't going to give you more money. Anyway, we're going to move into the next topic of the night in just a moment. Companies only hear negative things because the people who like something are typically quiet because they are happy with the product. I think that there are, though, plenty of people on social media who, when they are happy, they do voice how happy they are with things. And yes, when people get angry about things and people want to be offended by things, they are very loud and vocal, but I think that they need to stop listening to outraged people, that want changes because they don't like something. There's a difference between developers changing things and localization changing things because of outrage and changing things because they want to change things. I think that it is fine for companies to change things that they want if they're doing it because they want to, because they think that it will help progress their game, and because their real fans want it changed. But companies like Atlas change things that are just that just SJWs are complaining about. The people that don't care about their products are complaining about. Anyway, moving on to the next topic of the night, we are going to be discussing a brand new situation. James Gunn and John Cena announced the Suicide Squad spin-off series, Peacemaker, that will delve into current world issues. Now, I'm someone who's pretty vocal when it comes to TV shows delving into current world issues. There's a way to do it correctly, like how Star Trek had done it. Star Trek used to reference real-world issues, things that had happened, in such a subtle but important way. Unfortunately, 90% of shows now do it in a fucking terrible way. They will make blatant references to political figures they don't like and movements that they want to support, and they don't think about the longevity of a product. When you reference current world issues, it dates a product, and that's one of the biggest things that I hate about when TV shows and movies and just entertainment in general is filled with these current world issues, because it's not done properly. they'll say orange man bad, they'll say hashtag me too, listen to all women, and they'll push their point so much that it will ruin shows and movies and even games. We see it in games too sometimes. Current world issues thrown into things that ruin things. Now, I do want to say that there is a difference between Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad. So the Suicide Squad that they're referencing is The Suicide Squad, the new movie that James Gunn is making. It is not the same as Suicide Squad that came out in 2017, I want to say. It is different. Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn in this movie, but James Gunn and John Cena announced Suicide Squad spin-off series Peacemaker will delve into current world issues. So the Suicide Squad director and Peacemaker actor John Cena announced a brand new HBO Max original series titled Peacemaker. Can I just ask, did anyone want this? Did anyone ask for this? Now, I'm not necessarily saying just because I don't see the appeal in it right now doesn't mean I don't want it. I want to put that out there. Just because I'm not wowed by the idea of this doesn't mean they shouldn't do it, doesn't mean they should give up on their idea and scrap it. I'm a little bit confused as to why they chose Peacemaker as a character, why maybe even they chose John Cena as the actor for Peacemaker. Maybe James Gunn has a great idea for this. Maybe John Cena has just wowed the team on the Suicide Squad and they think that we could really make a fucking great show out of this. But when I'm seeing this image from James Gunn, I'm instantly thinking that they're just trying to make another The Boys. So Gunn made the announcement on Twitter, writing, "I'm over the moon excited to be working on Peacemaker with my pals John Cena and the Suicide Squad producer Peter Safran, I said it right, Peter Safran, on this new HBO Max original series from Warner Brothers TV and DC Comics." He said that, and then he showed the image. Fuck. It's Peacemaker. Only on HBO Max. Can I just say, why do directors think that putting a swear is going to instantly make people interested? Like, there's so many marketing teams now that are like, oh yeah, put a swear, it's going to make the adults happy. Like, as if I'm going to look at this and go, oh wow, they said a big boy word. This is serious. This isn't a joke. Like, maybe it's because, yes, they're trying to get the point across that this is going to be a pretty up in the air, pretty over the top show, but we don't know if it's going to be yet. He would add in a press release, Peacemaker is an opportunity to delve into current world issues through the lens of this superhero, supervillain, and the world's biggest douchebag. This 100% to me sounds like they're trying to basically take The Boys, but add different characters. Because that's what The Boys does now. The Boys is a superhero show that touches on current world issues. I mean, they've referenced Me Too, they've talked about Me Too, they've referenced presidential stuff, they've referenced a lot of current world issues. So to say this character's an opportunity to do that, and he's the world's biggest douchebag, I don't know. I feel like it's already been done. Can we stop doing the same things over and over and over? Like, I don't know. Do we really need this? Gunn continued, "I'm excited to expand the Suicide Squad and bring this character from the DC film universe to the full breadth of the series. And of course, being able to work again with John, Peter, and my friends at Warner Brothers is the icing on the cake." Cena would also announce the show on Twitter, writing, "Working alongside James Gunn on Suicide Squad was an absolute masterclass in how to best bring beloved characters to life in a new and fun way. I cannot wait for the DC Universe to experience more of the absurdity that is Peacemaker in this new project on HBO Max. I'm excited to see Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. I think that it is going to be interesting. The Suicide Squad movie has a lot of interesting characters with a lot of interesting actors. I mean, we've got Peter Capaldi, we have John Cena. I mean, I don't really like John Cena that much, but like, we have Peter Capaldi, we have Margot Robbie as Harley. I mean, we have a very interesting cast of characters in the Suicide Squad. So I'm hoping that this show will have also more of those characters, because after the Suicide Squad movie comes out, James Gunn did say he imagines it as a solo movie. We don't know if those characters are going to be touched on at all. Obviously, we see Peacemaker's getting his own show, but I would hope that maybe this show would bring those characters in as well. James Gunn has said that the Suicide Squad movie, while it is brutal, while it is gory, while it is going to be kind of a darker superhero movie, it's also going to have a lot of fun elements to it. And with Peacemaker in it, obviously, I definitely see that happening. And again, I don't see the vision for this show yet. After I see The Suicide Squad by James Gunn, and I see Peacemaker in action, and I see John Cena acting like this character, maybe I will be more interested in it. I'm definitely not saying, it's gonna be awful, guys, it's gonna be terrible. But when your first talk about this show is talking about how you want to delve into current world issues through the supervillain, world's biggest douchebag, do we need that? In the press release, he added, "I have said before that it has been a tremendous honor and an incredible opportunity to be part of the Suicide Squad and work with James on what is going to be a fantastic movie. I am unbelievably excited to have the chance to team up with him again for Peacemaker. We can't wait for fans to see this." The chief content officer for HBO and HBO Max also stated that James Gunn has the unique ability to create an expansive universe while also bringing to life the soul and wit of each character. We look forward to a deep dive into the world of Peacemaker. HBO Max detailed that the series will explore the origin of the Peacemaker character, the master of weapons from the highly anticipated upcoming The Suicide Squad film, and the new Max original action-adventure comedy series Peacemaker. So it is going to be, like it says, a comedy. It's going to be action-adventure, it's going to be comedy, it's probably going to be adult-focused. There's going to be a lot of adults that are like, it's going to be more marketed towards adults. I mean, the poster literally says "fuck, it's Peacemaker" on it, which I'm not saying that that's going to be bad. I'm just saying we already have shows like this, but that's all that we really know. I haven't seen John Cena's Peacemaker, so I don't want to preemptively judge it. John Cena might be a great actor as Peacemaker. I mean, the few things that he's done I wasn't really that into, but my problem here is that they have to, if they really want to touch on current world issues, I say no, don't do it. It usually dates shows, it ruins them a lot of the time, in my opinion. I'm gonna give it a chance. We'll see how the show turns out. But first, we need to see how the Suicide Squad movie is. I have a lot of faith in James Gunn. I've always really liked a lot of the work that James Gunn has done, but this does sound a little bit different from all of the other stuff that he's done. But I'm going to leave the topic there. That's all that we know right now. So when the Suicide Squad comes out, we'll kind of come back to this article probably, and I'll most likely talk a little bit about how I thought the Peacemaker character was, how the movie in general was, and hopefully by then we also will have some more information on the Peacemaker series in general. It's just a little bit worrying. Hello Viper, how are you doing? It's been a while. I hope that you're doing good. I'm happy New Mutants flopped. See, anime, manga fan, I have to disagree with you here. I'm not someone who wants things to fail, okay? I do not want a movie to come out and have it fail. 90% of the time. I mean, maybe there are some movies that I'm like, this is so garbage it should fail. But when it comes to things like New Mutants and even the Suicide Squad or any superhero-related films, I don't want them to make movies and shows that are bad. I want the entertainment industry to be better. I want the entertainment industry to thrive. I want it to be healthy. And I feel like a lot of people at this point don't. A lot of people just want these industries to fail because they've gotten so bad, but I want them to be good. I want to be able to enjoy my games, enjoy my TV series, enjoy entertainment without being co-opted and having Trump thrown in your face, or Boris Johnson thrown in your face, Brexit thrown in your face, and all of these things. I just want things to be good. So if they can make a good show, great for them. But if they can't, then I told you so, right? Right? Vera, just let Kami would die so that we can have better content. The problem is that if Hollywood was to die, yeah, I mean, at this point, with how bad it is, it probably should just die. But also, you have to think of the bigger picture, and how that would also give companies like Netflix, kind of more power. And the thing with Netflix is that while Netflix does a lot of good, and a lot of these large companies do a lot of good, they create a lot of good content, they also throw in a lot of bad content because they feel like they can create whatever they want. And while I think that they, can create whatever they want, and they should be able to create whatever they want, they kind of get cocky. It's like with, I don't know, I don't really have a good example, but they'll create things that a lot of people dislike, and then they'll kind of double down on it and create more because they know that you're not going to cancel your subscription. They know that there's so many options out there, yes, but when you look at Netflix, most people that have Netflix aren't just going to cancel their Netflix subscription. So even if people say, yeah, we're going to, boycott a movie, or we're going to say fuck Netflix for this movie, maybe 10% of them are going to cancel their subscription. So Netflix knows that, and these big companies know that. So they're going to keep creating that shit because they know they're one of your only options. If Hollywood dies, what do we have left? Bollywood and Netflix? Well, exactly. There's obviously other companies like Hulu, there's stuff, and Amazon Prime, there's stuff, but right. I mean, Netflix is so much more massive compared to the other ones. If you cut down those options, then there's going to be less options. I don't just want Hollywood to die. I want Hollywood to be better. I don't want gaming companies to die because they're bad. I want them to be better, and that's just my opinion on it. I know a lot of people would rather say, I'd rather see Hollywood burn. Fair enough. That's your opinion. You go for it. But I would rather see things be better than fail and go away. Netflix makes stuff that piss off SJWs and anti-SJWs. They swing both ways. They do. They do. But when people don't like something, they double down on that content. So if you don't like a certain type of movie and people start yelling about it, they're going to create more of it. Which is how they work because they feel like they kind of have that power. Netflix is bigger than Disney. Yeah, Netflix is bigger than Disney. There are not a lot of companies, streaming services I should say, that can rival Netflix. Obviously there's like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime really isn't that big though. I mean, CBS All Access is a joke. Disney Plus does have a big chunk of subscribers, but not even close to what Netflix has. But yeah, I don't want things to fail. I want them to be better, but unfortunately you can't save an industry that doesn't want to be saved. Alright, we are going to move into the final topic of the night in just a moment. But yeah, Netflix is bigger than Disney. Nigma. Was JFK killed because he saw aliens? I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty interesting theory. That's a pretty interesting theory. Can't save a den of monsters, Very. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't save companies that don't want to be saved. You can't save an industry that doesn't want to be saved. But you can always try. I'd rather be a little bit more positive than negative. I'm gonna look something up really quickly. Interesting. So I saw someone ask in chat, Microsoft is bigger than Netflix, right? And obviously, yes. But I was curious about what Netflix net worth is. So it looks like Netflix's net worth Netflix is worth around $200 billion. Now, Microsoft is worth over $1 trillion. So I knew that there wasn't a comparison there, but I was curious about Netflix's net worth. Yeah, $1 trillion to $200 billion. Jesus Christ. Freaking massive. Oh, by the way, really quickly, if you guys are enjoying the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. The link is in the description. And consider donating via Streamlabs. A notification will pop up for donations over $1, and $3 and over there is text-to-speech, and then over $20 there is a special notification. So, thank you for supporting the channel. All of the links to support are in the description, and also follow me on social media, because the more social media accounts you follow, the more social points you're gonna have with the United States government social system that they're gonna implement. Like China, you know how China has the social points? Well, soon the US is gonna have social points. And I'm kidding. I'm not gonna get into that conspiracy theory. We're not gonna do that. I'll be banned on YouTube. We don't want to be banned yet, okay? I at least want to hit 50,000 subscribers before I'm banned, okay? Follow accounts on social media for your social points. Youthful optimism. Never let go of that, Vera lady. I try to not let go of that. Netflix is the highest valued entertainment company, though. They are, yes. They are. Machine gun typing. Me? I type fast, yeah. Alright, so the final topic that I wanted to discuss for the night is about Hololive. Now, this is a new situation that was a little bit confusing at first because, you know, obviously we're dealing with translations. There were things that were initially mistranslated, but now have been properly translated, so I finally felt comfortable with addressing this. This only happened like 2 days ago, though. Hololive issues a 3-week suspension to VTubers Akai Hato and Kiryu Koko for viewing lists that recognized Taiwan's independence. Oh, can't be because of China, right? I mean, who hates Taiwan? Who loathes the fact that Taiwan has independence? No one except China. Hololive has issued a 3-week suspension to a pair of its virtual talents, Akai Hato and Kiryu Koko, after the two characters referred to Taiwan as an independent state rather than as a territory of China. Of course. Also, I hope that I'm saying the names right. I may be mispronouncing them slightly. I did my best to look up translations. Don't kill me. VTubers are a new class of internet personalities that present live streams, chats, and videos wherein they represent themselves with or sometimes act in character as an anime-styled virtual avatar. I'm someone who actually really likes VTubers. I think that it's really interesting, it's really innovative. I personally really like it. There's different kinds of VTubers, but I kind of like the idea. I think that it's interesting, it's unique. Not a lot of people do it either. It is picking up popularity, though. VTubers obviously have picked up a lot of popularity. Pokimane also recently, like, made her VTuber avatar as well, but though these VTubers have risen in popularity and prominence in recent months, the trend initially began in 2011 with the blogger Ami Yamato and was popularized in 2016 with the creation of the first official VTuber, Kizuna I, or AI, I'm not sure which way you're supposed to say it. I'm not that good at English, but I will accept it. Oh, Sigoi. Initially founded in 2016, Hololive is a Japanese VTuber production agency that manages and produces various pieces of content for its roster for nearly 30 virtual talents. Oh my. Shiny smiley story. Ooh, nice. In a recent and since deleted live stream held on September 26th, Hato and Coco conducted separate segments on their own respective live streams in which they reviewed the general locations of their YouTube subscribers and followers. So basically, I could go into my YouTube dashboard right now. I could go into my YouTube dashboard and go to analytics, okay? And I can go to reach, and I can go to audience. And then, of course, audience says, you know, age, gender, top countries. So how about I read you guys by top countries? Because apparently, we're not allowed, streamers aren't allowed to do that. VTubers aren't allowed to do that. My top countries are 51.5% of my views come from the United States, 9.8% come from the UK, and then I have Canada, Germany, and Australia. Germany's actually quite up there in viewer numbers, which is funny to me. Thank you, my German friends. But that's all that they did. Did you guys just hear that? I just read you my top country analytics. If I was one of those VTubers, I would be getting banned for simply doing that. If Taiwan was on that list, I would say, oh, my Taiwan viewer percentage is 2%. And that's why they got banned. Well, suspended, I should say. The controversial moments occurred when, during their reviews, the two merely viewed a list of Google-provided analytics that listed Taiwan as a sovereign state independent from the People's Republic of China. This simple act of viewing Google data that identified Taiwan was seen as a recognition of the country's independence and resulted in the two being banned from the Chinese video streaming site Bilibili. I'm not sure how you say that. I'm sorry. That doesn't sound right. Bilibili. How about that? Does that sound any better? That's literally all they did. That's it. And they got suspended for 3 weeks. Nice art. I like that. Taiwan was as this article reads, Taiwan was established in 1949 by members of the government of the Republic of China after they were forced to flee from mainland China following their loss to the Communist Party of China during the Chinese Civil War. However, the current Chinese government continues to assert a claim over the disputed territory and as such refuses to recognize its independence or establish diplomatic ties with any country that does so. Basically, China needs to get the fuck over it. Okay, this unintentional recognition of an independent Taiwan prompted a response from Hololive, who released a statement that they went back on, apologizing to the fans and supporters for any inconvenience incurred by these incidents. They actually changed their tune after this. So here they're saying, we're sorry if there was any inconvenience incurred by these incidences. And then they decided to say, oh no, we didn't mean that you like offended anyone. Scrolling back, the two VTubers divulged confidential YouTube channel analytics information on their respective live stream, used said data for their own purposes, and made statements that were insensitive to the residents of certain regions. Hololive is saying, we suspended these VTubers because they could have offended Chinese users. Why? This is so terrible. This reminds me of the situation with Activision Blizzard and Blitzchung. So, wow, I can't believe it was almost a year ago now. A year ago now, Blizzard had banned Blitzchung for a year due to him getting on a live stream, an official Hearthstone tournament live stream, and saying, "Free Hong Kong, revolution of our times." Now, hours after that happened, Blizzard decided to suspend Blitzchung for a year and tried to rescind his prize money. Now, they didn't end up rescinding his prize money, and they did end up putting his suspension to only 6 months. After, at BlizzCon 2019, there were protests. There were people saying, this is disgusting of you, all because he said, "Free Hong Kong, revolution of our times." Now, Blizzard swears up and down that this wasn't due to their Chinese investors, that they didn't do it because their Chinese investors would be upset or mad. They just kind of did it because of political messaging, when literally Blizzard makes political messages all of the time. They make political statements all of the time, and they also let other creators make political messages all of the time. This reminds me a lot, of this. Wow. If I was monetized, I'd definitely be demonetized right now. They said, we are currently in the process of improving our compliance training for our talents in line with our company guidelines. Improving our compliance training? All they did was read analytics. It's not like they were reading how much money they were making, how much revenue was coming in, what their view numbers were. They literally talked about their top country viewership numbers. They said, in this case, neither of the talents involved were found to have acted deliberately in causing these incidents. Of course they didn't. They read two little lines. Hololive further explained, even so, they still violated our guidelines and contractual obligations by divulging confidential information and making statements insensitive to certain nationalities. Now, I just want to say there's absolutely no proof of what I'm about to say happening, but there are people on Reddit saying that there are multiple other VTubers that are part of Hololive that have done the same thing before in the past, and they never got in trouble for it. That they had divulged some of their user information, their statistics on platforms like YouTube and the Bilibili, however you say it, and they didn't get in trouble. But suddenly these two are, because they said, Taiwan, hey guys, China needs to get the fuck over Taiwan. China, get over Taiwan. China, get over Taiwan. China, get over Taiwan. China, get over Taiwan. It's not yours. Hato and Coco, unfortunately, didn't stand their ground because, you know, when you're under contract, you want to make good with the company that you work for. They issued apologies saying, I regret the inconvenience caused to you by my careless actions. From now on, I will be careful not to make inadvertent remarks. Coco stated that she was sorry and would take the situation properly and strive to raise awareness for her mistakes. Aside from the obvious blow to their respective streaming schedules, Hato and Coco's respective suspensions also had negative effects on the Hololive subreddit. When outraged fans took to the subreddit to voice their concerns and anger to Hololive, the company responded by deleting any posts critical of their decisions, which has led to widespread disagreements between the fans and Hololive administrators. If you're a company that has something like a subreddit, just let your fans say what they want to say. If they say this company's awful, let them. If they say this company's bad, let them. Don't censor these fans and these people that do care because they're voicing their opinions, so they most likely care because it doesn't praise you. So one says, this is not okay. You know what we're talking about. Stop deleting our posts. None of them were against the rules. Now let's actually look at their rules, their public rules. 1, be nice. 2, no personal information / doxing. These are the rules for the subreddit, by the way, because people are, of course, posting their thoughts. They're being deleted, and none of them are against the rules. So be nice. No personal information / doxing. 3, about memes. I don't know what that means. Like, you can't post specific memes, I guess. 4, no content stealing. Okay, fair enough. 5, no reposts. Okay. 6, no hate speech. 7, flare your posts. 8, no asking favors from the staff. 9, no advertising VTubers outside of the Hololive production. 10, stay family friendly. 11, enjoy yourself. And I agree with their hashtag. Hashtag Coco did nothing wrong. Neither of these VTubers did anything wrong. The article finishes off with, some fans have speculated that Hololive's response was done in an attempt to protect the VTubers' careers in China. Yes. But as of writing, no further reasoning for their suspension has been provided. It's obvious that it's because of China. Who else would make a company censor those simple statements? Literally reading analytics because it mentions Taiwan. And then it says, what's your opinion on Hato and Coco's suspension? What about Hololive's response to the fans? I think that Hololive's response is bullshit, to be honest. Hololive at first said, we are suspending them because, you know, they made some insensitive comments, and after people saw the comments that weren't insensitive, they changed their mind and said, no, we didn't mean it like that. And then they backed up and said, we're suspending them because they're divulging private information. Screw Hololive. This is ridiculous, and it's disgusting that companies are willing to suspend creators because they literally showed analytics and mentioned Taiwan. It is ridiculous. China needs to get over Taiwan. I know they're not going to, but they need to. And companies need to stop bending the knee to China. I know the companies can make money in China. I know that they just want money. But have a little fucking respect for the people that you employ. Seriously. Apparently, disagreeing with company actions are a violation because the company is no longer allowing people to make these types of comments on their Reddit. They are censoring their Reddit posts. They are deleting posts, locking posts, removing as many posts as they can because apparently they're breaking the rules when clearly no one posting on the subreddit is breaking any rules. But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic, and that's all that I really had to discuss in this live stream. We talked about Hololive issuing fucking ridiculous suspensions. We talked about James Gunn and John Cena talking about the Peacemaker series that will delve into current world issues. We talked about 13 Sentinels, localization, changing character dialogue to make a character non-binary, and we also talked about Starfield's latest apparently leaked screenshots and everything we know about the RPG. I am going to go to the Q&A portion of the live stream, so if you guys want to discuss anything, if you have any questions or have any topics you'd like me to talk about, please feel free to put them into the chat now. I will be focusing on chat for a couple of minutes. Please make sure to give the stream a like if you've enjoyed. Also consider donating via Streamlabs. For just $1, a notification will pop up. $3 or more text-to-speech will pop up. But let me chat with you all for a couple of minutes. Twitter censors people all the time too. Unfortunately, Twitter does censor people all the time. Yeah, Facebook censors people all the time. Twitter censors people all of the time. I do think, though, when situations happen like this, it is important to point it out, because this is ridiculous, because people think, truly, there are people out there that think that China really has no take on these industries. China's never done anything bad when it comes to gaming and entertainment. Nothing gets censored for China. People don't get censored for China. And that is absolutely not true. China, there are a lot of large Chinese companies, like Tencent, for instance, that have bought their way into gaming companies, that have bought their way into the entertainment industry. There are 100% many changes that happen to please Chinese investors of these companies. And if you do not think that, go to my channel and type in China, type in censorship, and I am sure that you are going to find many examples, not even just my own content, but go to YouTube, type in game censored for China, people censored for China. Why don't you go and look up the Blitzchung situation if you don't know about that? Perfect examples, and this is just another example, unfortunately, of people being victims to censorship because they read a list that recognized Taiwan's independence. They didn't even make any comments on it. They didn't even say, ha ha, screw China. They didn't say, oh look, Taiwan independent, ha ha. They didn't say anything. They literally just read a list and moved on. But of course, that's offensive now. Why is it that the Chinese dollar is more important for most companies to begin with? It's because there's so many people in China. It is an untapped market. At least a lot of companies feel like it is an untapped market. So they are willing to do anything to get into that market because it's just another form of revenue. It's just another way for them to make money. See South Park banned in China for how companies bow to China. Yes, thank you. Roof Korean 92. Wow, what a name. Yeah, go and watch the South Park episode. Even though it is comedy, it does make a lot of legitimate points, and I feel like people are very don't really know about the depths that China's investments goes, and how many companies do censor games and entertainment for their Chinese investors, but all they really care about in the end is making that sweet, sweet money. And if they can make money from another market that they think is untapped, of course they're gonna bow down to them. That's fucking crazy. Yes, it is. By the way, you guys, I wanted to show you all something. So this week, I'm not sure when, this week I have some Magic the Gathering product to open. I did share a screenshot in Discord in the supporter-only chat. If you're a Dark Titan via Patreon, you, or just a supporter in general, you get access to the supporter chat in Discord. But I was donated some Magic the Gathering boxes. I've wanted to open some Magic on the channel for a while, and the newest set Zendikar came out. So I have quite a little bit of product open, which we'll probably do a chill stream later in the week, and I'll be opening this. But I have 2 draft booster boxes, and I also have set boosters. I've never opened set boosters before. They are new. They've only been around for 2 sets now, and I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited to open some of this product on stream. Zendikar Rising. Zendikar did just come out today. Technically, it released paper today. So yeah, I will be opening some of that later in the week. I see Frank in chat. I knew you'd be excited, Frank. I've got 2 draft boosters, and I also have a set booster. I've never opened a set booster, so I'm excited. Frank, insert girly scream. Nessie, nice. Wrath, sweet, crack, I'm good. It will be a live stream. I'm not sure what day yet, but later in the week we'll do a chill stream. I'll talk with you guys, maybe talk about another topic or two like we do on nights like this, and I'll open quite a lot of product. The product is right next to me. Quite a lot of product. I have to admit, I'm pretty excited for it. I do play a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena now, but the channel really did primarily start with a lot of Magic the Gathering and tabletop content. So, I do, of course, want to please that audience that is still here, like people like Frank, that have been here since the very beginning, and since I got my hands on some that it was donated very nicely, I thought that it was perfect timing to open some for the launch of the set. The new set I didn't get into Ikoria. Well, Zendikar Rising is the newest set, but there was Ikoria, yeah. Well, Zendikar was on Friday. I thought that it technically released today. Release. Because paper and, digital have different release dates. I thought that it was technically... Okay, you are right. It actually was Friday. That's kind of interesting, because when I had these pre-ordered, the release date did say the 28th. Huh. I don't know if I have a screenshot of that. But when you pre-ordered them via, like, Amazon, the release date was today, actually. Interesting. But anyway, it's here. New sets always launch on a Friday. Yeah, but for some reason, it said, like, on Amazon that it was the 28th. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 3 days difference. It's perfectly fine. I have my product, and I can't wait to open it on a live stream. Made in China, Vera. Virtually 85% of electronics are produced in China. Yeah. No, hey. This booster box was made in the USA. I know that, unfortunately, Wizards of the Coast is having a lot of production problems right now because of COVID. Even Zendikar. Zendikar, they had to split the launch into waves, so there was like a wave 1 and a wave 2 for paper, and then they announced a wave 3. So a lot of retailers only got like a third of the product that they were expecting. But yeah, this is all made in the USA. Yeah, I thought so, but it is, yes. Not made in China here, at least these boxes. I know that we joke about things being made in China. Unfortunately, so many things are made in China that it is difficult to avoid them. But it's always good to stay conscious about your purchases. If you can purchase locally, purchase something that is made in the USA instead of, like, China. I always try to do it. Weird. I didn't hear from your channel for a while. Why am I reading this dramatically? Then I realized I was magically unsubscribed from you. Well, that's why you should follow me on social media like Twitter and Parler. You can join our Discord. I tag you all when I go live and I post my videos there. You can become a Dark Titan via Patreon, you know. There's plenty of ways to keep up with my content. I do also have a BitChute. I have also been considering Storyfire. There is also another video app, I think it's called Rumble, that people have been pointing me to lately. But there's plenty of ways to keep up with me. Twitter, Parler, Discord. Make sure to join all of those. They are linked in the description, but I will put some of the links in chat now that we are winding down stream. So, I think that I am going to end the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. I'm gonna play. I don't know, Jero. I'm not exactly sure. I saw that it did come out, and a lot of people are excited about it. I would love to see a virtual Vera. If any of you guys know anyone that creates VTuber avatars, I mean, I think an artist would have a pretty good base of how to make a VTuber version of me. I mean, I don't think that there's going to be a problem with making me anime, but if anyone knows any VTuber artists, hey, let me know. By the way, I've heard people that have gotten VTuber avatars made and how freaking expensive they are. Guys, I'm going to need to start a GoFundMe for a VTuber Vera. Whew, they are pricey. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. If you are not already part of our Discord, please make sure to join it. We are very active there. If you want to support the channel further, you can follow me on social media like Twitter and Parler. And of course, if you want to support the channel even further, you can become a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. And you can also donate directly via PayPal or Streamlabs if it is easier for you. All of the support really does help the channel, as none of my content is currently monetized, but VTuber Vera, Waifu Vera, incoming soon. But thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everybody.